What you're about to see is far more than a routine police chase. Within seconds of leaving a crime scene tied to a deputy-involved shooting, this motorcyclist launches officers into an extremely dangerous pursuit. Speeds will climb well into the triple digits. Split-second decisions will determine how aggressively law enforcement can respond, and every mile raises the stakes for innocent drivers. Watch closely, because one small mistake can change everything.
The Rancho Cucamonga area, right by Victoria Gardens, where there was a deputy-involved shooting, where a deputy was the one that was the victim and was shot. There's a huge presence out there, law enforcement. They got the condominium surrounded. While we were there, this vehicle came out of that condominium complex and the pursuit was on. Now, is this that shooting suspect? Is this a distraction? I can't fill in those blanks. I'm going to let the viewers kind of put those pieces together on their own. What I can tell you, though, is fact is that motorcycle almost immediately getting out of that condominium complex was running against traffic up Day Creek Road up to the 210 freeway, got onto the 210 freeway, and at one point this motorcycle was over 150 miles an hour on the 210. Now, law enforcement, they're definitely not letting this person walk. I can guarantee you that. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department, they had a helicopter in the air. That one was following along with Skyfox. And on the ground, a number of units were chasing this vehicle as well. Even some of those California Highway Patrol cars were keeping up with this vehicle on the freeway. Take a look at that. Those maneuvers, Sandy, I do not want to see anybody lose their life on television, but this is one of those ones where I have to show it. We got to stay tight. We got to do our job. But I am not joking when I tell you my blood is running cold, especially when that vehicle starts, that motorcycle starts wobbling, gets so close to a lot of these cars. Anything unpredictable happens in front of that motorcycle. I don't want to see that outcome. Yeah, for a moment there, you saw the California Highway Patrol. That's one of their motorcycle units. They're basically just getting up close, making their presence known. Hopefully this driver makes the right decisions. As it stands right now, look at those numbers. We're just coming out of the triple digits, and it does seem like he's slowing down. Hopefully,
there it is.
Hopefully it's going to
Here we go.
an end. But you have to remember, that suspect is wanted for a deputy-involved shooting where a deputy was shot. So, yes, law enforcement, they are going to try to bring this to an end. They might use some practical ways to bring it to an end.
Yeah.
But take a look at that, Sandy.
This is where the pursuit becomes exceptionally dangerous. Officers appear to be closing the distance, trying to pressure the rider into ending the chase, while constantly balancing public safety against the risk of direct intervention. At these speeds, even a slight steering correction could trigger a catastrophic crash. Every move has consequences, and every second forces officers to reassess whether to push forward or back off. What would you do if you were leading this pursuit?
Did we just see this motorist on the motorcycle trying to kind of sway into the CHP motor officer as well?
Yep. Yes, definitely. And was the motorcycle officer maybe trying to get up close to the suspect to bring that suspect down? Maybe. This is one of those ones where it is just we just watch it, and I just don't want to see anybody lose their life this afternoon, especially not on our cameras. You can see this rider clearly is very comfortable with the way they're handling that motorcycle, but that doesn't mean that this is any kind of safe. Right now, it looks like he's boom. That's exactly what I was talking about.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's exactly what I was talking about.
Wow, we didn't see that coming. That really came out of nowhere as we were watching this motorcyclist. Very comfortable on the bike there.
Believe me, they're going to take that suspect. He's still moving. That is a plus. They are definitely going to take him into custody. It did look like the motorcycle did land on top of him once he was on the ground. Now, I have to say, you got a number of officers down there. I can guarantee you I can guarantee you they're going to stop the freeway, but they're also going to start calling for paramedics. They're already calling for paramedics, and again, how they're going to get there this quickly is another question. But wow, that I'm telling you, that is definitely not the ending I wanted to see. I am hoping that suspect survives.
All right, we see movement from the suspect, I believe.
What a crazy crash that was.
Yeah, and as you were tracking that motorcyclist, the speeds were about 70 miles per hour at that point. As you were mentioning, very comfortably riding along the freeway right there, kind of hands off the handlebars at that point, kind of just adjusting, and then all of a sudden crashing to the vehicle in front of him that came out of nowhere. We didn't see that happening, obviously, so we do want to apologize for that, but clearly just a violent ending right there as the motorist flew off of that motorcycle upon collision, rear-ending that one vehicle along the freeway right there on the 210 eastbound. But wow, what a scene here. Again, the original want for this pursuit, as you mentioned, Stu, was a deputy-involved shooting that happened in the San Bernardino area. There's another scene at that location at this point where there's a perimeter set up around the situation and around the area where that shooting happened. So law enforcement officials have two scenes they are dealing with at this point, really trying to find out and piece together what exactly happened. So this is on the right side of your screen where that white truck is. You're seeing the scene at the officer-involved shooting where that deputy was in fact involved in this shooting, and we believe again the pursuit happened because of this, and that is why they were following that motorcyclist
doing paramedic stuff
on the 210. So again, on the right side of your screen, you're looking at the area and the neighborhood where that shooting took place in San Bernardino. Stu.
Sandra, we're getting confirmation that is the suspect. We've got confirmation from our assignment desk that is the suspect, that it was wanted for what started as some sort of burglary at Victoria Gardens, then turned into a deputy-involved shooting blocks away from that mall, and then now you can see that there was a crazy pursuit on that 210 freeway, ending in that tragic crash out there. Now as far as we can tell, I don't want to get too gory because I know we are still live, but there are actual paramedics down there that work for the sheriff's department that are administering first aid to that suspect after they did take him into custody. My question is for you and maybe some of the viewers, is we do know that motorcycle collided with or basically bumped into the side of a civilian's vehicle. And I just don't know where that civilian's vehicle is. I'm hoping that person is okay as well. And again, at the time of the crash, we all saw it live. He was actually, he had taken off his backpack. He didn't even have his hands on the handlebars, and he was going through his backpack for some reason while he was on the freeway. At any rate, coming to a crashing end. That suspect now in custody. This is going to be on that eastbound 210 freeway. We're going to be in the Rancho Cucamonga upland area. Excuse me, we're in the upland area right now. You can see all lanes are stopped. They may be like this for some time. There might be some traffic issues. You can see some of the first responders from the fire department, paramedics arriving. We're going to see if they hopefully they do, transport that suspect. But again, what a wild and unfortunate ending to what's been going on out here in the Rancho Cucamonga area.
And Stu, we were just looking at a double box on the right side of your screen earlier. You were seeing the pursuit as it happened before we got to this point of the collision on the 210 freeway, and we are going to show once again how this ended up tragically in an accident right here at this location. We do want to remind viewers that it is disturbing to watch, but again, this pursuit happening, and we went on the air around 1:30. There it is. That's the collision and how we got to this point on the 210. But there you saw the motorcyclist distracted with hands off the handlebar and then ramming into the side of that innocent motorist and vehicle traveling along the 210. But sheriff deputies do believe and have confirmed that this is the suspect wanted in a deputy-involved shooting that happened in San Bernardino. And there it is again. It's tough to watch, but time and again we cover these pursuits. We don't know what motivates these people to take off and evade authorities, and obviously we never know how it's going to end. And unfortunately in this situation it is involving medical personnel on the scene, and obviously a devastating crash like this, Stu.
Well, Sandy, I'm having a lot of trouble with the IFB, but I just want to, say just a little bit is, we don't, or I personally don't know the condition of the deputy that was shot, that started pretty much all of this or put it all into motion. I do hope that that deputy is going to be okay. Law enforcement, they are out here in force. They were out there at that condominium in force looking for that suspect. How he got on that motorcycle, how he made that quick departure, all of that they're going to figure out later on. I can tell you that fire department, you can see that's the first one arriving right there. They probably definitely have paramedics on board. We're going to keep an eye on it to see if they or how they treat that suspect, meaning are they going to put this person on a gurney or is it going to be something else? But as far as that freeway goes, also got to put it out there is if the eastbound 210 is your ride today, especially through the Upland area, I would definitely make other plans, especially because that freeway is going to be closed for some time, and we're going to wait on that ambulance and see where that suspect goes from here.
All right, we are getting information into the newsroom that this all apparently started, as you mentioned, Stu, with an apparent shoplifting incident at Victoria Mall. That is where the origin of all this happened, and then the scene moved on to an apartment building across the street in that location, and that is where somehow apparently there was a deputy-involved shooting, and then they witnessed this suspect on a motorcycle just take off high speeds. Stu, as you were following this whole situation, reaching up to
Definitely.
what, 170 miles per hour on a motorcycle, going the opposite direction of traffic?
Yeah, extremely reckless driving. When we got on the freeway, that's when the speeds got well into the triple digits. When he was on Day Creek making his way from the Victoria Gardens up to the 210, that was basically the entire ride was weaving back and forth through oncoming traffic. So he was driving the wrong way on Day Creek, making his way up to the 210 freeway. Once he got on that freeway, though, he really did open it up. But even the law enforcement, the California Highway Patrol, they did have some vehicles that were not keeping up, but staying close enough that they were nearby. And then you saw that motorcycle officer make that attempt to maybe bring this to an end. But
yeah, that pit maneuver, we actually have video of that, Stu. Let's roll that as you talk about this, because this is kind of an unusual pursuit of a suspect on a motorcycle. There you see the CHP officer right there approaching the side, and it looks like trying to make a pit maneuver, but the suspect then ramming a little bit into the CHP officer and then taking off. Talk a little bit about that, Stu, as we witness that live on the air.
I would love to sit down or have a talk with some officers from the California Highway Patrol, especially their motorbike division, because I wonder what the protocol is for something like that. That was a dangerous maneuver, but again, the officers that are out there on patrol, they weigh their risk with with what that suspect is wanted for at all times, and that is one of those ones. He's taking that risk, knowing that this is a very wanted suspect. But I don't know what the plan was there. I've never seen a motorcycle try to pit another motorcycle. I am moving a little bit closer in now because that suspect is not fatal. I can tell you that. That person is actually sitting up right now. They've got the neck brace on.
Wow.
They have paramedics working with him, so he's definitely going to be going to a hospital. There's much relief there in my voice because I just don't don't, a day at work where we watch anybody pass is not a good day at work, but this makes my day feeling a lot better. That suspect in custody, and again, what a crazy crash that was. And take a look at that freeway. That is a number of law enforcement and some other vehicles that they're starting to basically squeeze through. But California Highway Patrol, they're kind of opening up one lane to get everybody by. But how long this is going to be here, it's going to be some time. But all of this, Sandy, you think about it, right? All of this over shoplifting.
The pursuit ends with the suspect in custody, but not before reminding everyone how quickly reckless decisions can spiral into life-threatening situations. Throughout the chase, officers had to balance speed, tactics, and public safety, while adapting to an unpredictable suspect. It's a powerful example of how dangerous motorcycle pursuits can become in an instant. If you enjoy real police pursuit breakdowns and tactical analysis, leave your thoughts in the comments, like the video, and subscribe for more real-world law enforcement coverage.